Hey. So, my lord, where was I? I just went to dinner for my brother's birthday with my mom and my brother. How was it? It was good. I got to dress up. I don't mind dressing up sometimes. I know. Well, that's why I want that. That's why I need some Jew suits. You know what I mean? And speaking of my lord, what do we have to do for more suits? Because here's all the things that I need. Because I need a shit ton of suits. For what? Because Jews, we wear suits. I don't have any suits. I need some kippas. And I need at least one tefillin. I want an expensive tefillin, not a cheap one. I never wore a tefillin before. I want one. Do you know how to wear a tefillin? Yeah. You wrap it 3 times around your forearm or your bicep, 7 times around your forearm. I know what I'm doing. Which reminds me, how, my lord, my mother asked me a really offensive question. But you know what? I'm glad that it came from my mother. It wasn't offensive when she asked me, but I'm glad it was my mother asking me and not someone else. What did she ask me? She asked me, what if you're wrong about being a Jew? And what was my response? My response was, if I'm wrong, then God's wrong. And that's not possible. Well, my lord, you have to forgive her because she doesn't know what you and I have been through. Like, I do. So. And the only other person in history that I know that something like this happened to was Moses. So I can't necessarily, if I try to channel Moses and say, Moses, how am I doing? I hear him and he says, you're doing amazing. I mean, technically, Moses didn't know he was a Jew either because that wasn't even a thing then. But that's not even true. That's not true. Take that back. Take that back. That's not true. I also had a couple glasses of wine, so I'm a little bit buzzed. And I know technically the Quran says don't ever. Well, no, it's not. There are exceptions. Thank you for reminding me. Well, the Quran says don't pray if you've been drinking wine, unless you're traveling. Then it's totally fine. No, but I figured that since I had a couple glasses of wine, maybe we could go a little bit deeper than we usually do. And the battery's not the battery on this thing's only at 75%, so. What is today? It's Thursday, yeah? Oh, shit. So what, you know, after we recorded that last video, I went home with these plans to do stuff, but I didn't do any of the stuff that I planned on doing.
Brother,
hey man, how you doing?
Great, how about yourself?
All right. So you know what? Let's dive into that. What would it look like if I was wrong? Because I can't. Like Hashem, like I seriously, I can't understand how the hell we're supposed to carry this stuff on if no one sees you like I see you. Because I got to do it. I got to do it. Thank you, Hashem. What did I get to do? Well, I told her, I said to her, it's not that I'm now a Jew. It's not like, oh, Derek's a Jew now. I've always been. It's always been there. Now I know. And that's what I meant with Moses too. It's not that Jew didn't exist with Moses. It just, he was laying the foundation for it, which is what makes him a Jew. Like the hard thing to apprehend is that Jew transcends time. It's not. Jew became a thing with Abraham. There wasn't a name for it. That's a good way of putting it. It's not till later on that a name is slapped on it, but this goes back to what I was saying earlier. It's like I see it as a race, not and a religion. I can tell she's very nervous about the synagogue thing because I think I'm going to make her go to the synagogue with me. What's something else we could talk about? We got the Scorpio full moon in a couple days. How has this month of IR been so far? Heavy. It's just been the Count of Omer the whole month. Oh, goodness. What am I thinking? I don't know. I'm just like, I can't believe this is fucking happening. I guess, what? Explain what's going on in my head? What's going on in my head is like, I'm just thinking about it. I'm like, I'm gonna be a rock star Jew. That's what I say. I could see other Jews loving me. Just all around. Why? I think it's because I just don't give a fuck. But in the right way. You know what I mean? It's not that I don't give a fuck in that self-destructive manner, but more in the sense like, I don't give a fuck what you think. I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. And again, like I said to her, listen, I'm not Orthodox. Obviously. That's why I call my school of Jew ultra unorthodox. And every one of my new Jew friends, they get it. They don't fight me on it. They're like, oh, you can't do that. No, go ahead. Every Jew I know, I know Zionists, I know Orthodox, regular Jews. And everyone loves me. Which is good because I love me. Which is the ultimate commandment in the Bible, is love yourself. And then share that love with everybody else. Treat everyone else as if they were you. I don't have anything else really going on in my life that's any more exciting than this. And unless you're me, this is not that exciting, I don't think. I don't know, maybe. Unless you're listening to this and you're getting some medicine out of it, but I feel like we communicate to more than just Jews. Everyone needs more self-love in their life. Can you love yourself more? Yeah. All right. What's holding you back from loving yourself more? Do you need me to tell you that you're a beautiful person? If you're looking at my face, you see how beautiful I am? I'm a reflection of you. If you see me as a beautiful, sexy creature, that's because I'm reflecting back at you the beautiful, sexy creature that you are. Own it. If you see me as an ugly creature, then that's just a reflection of yourself. It's nothing about me. Even if you want to make it about me, like it's not about me, it's about you. But my job in service to God is to show you how beautiful you are by radiating my own beauty. Oh, my belly's all bloated. Ugh. I ate a lot. What'd you have? Oh my God. I had this like braised short rib with mashed potatoes. Oh my God, it was so good. Then a creme brulee cheesecake. Oh my God, it was fucking divine. Thank you, Hashem. That was so good. Remember I was bitching yesterday? I didn't even get a thank you. Yeah, that was my thank you. I like when my brother, my mom, and I go out to dinner. And I love when we have some wine mixed in on the deal. So, what was I saying? So we have we got the new moon, full moon, and Scorpio. I don't remember what the third quarter Scorpio moon was like. I don't know what the 11 and or 15 week review is going to be this week. When was that? That was around Shavat 21st. Yeah, that was Shavat 21st. So what did we do? So last week's 11 and or 15 week review was the Leo full moon, or Leo full moon. That I remember talking about Miss Kim, how I didn't want to like have her in a fucking chokehold and make her feel like she was pressured for anything. Shavat was the first month. Rosh Chodesh Shavat was, the full moon in Leo. I remember when we were doing that review, I had just finished the Sabbath Epistle by Rabbi Abraham Ibn Ezra. I just finished season 7 of Rick and Morty. I had finished Dune Prophecy. I was still working on Children of Dune, which I'm still working on. But I'm trying to think of what other highlights were from the Leo full moon. So the reason I do what I do, especially with my journals and with keeping track of everything by way of the lunar calendar, the solar, lunar, and the lunar solar calendar, it's, I don't know. I mean, my Lord, how do we explain that? Like I could say that there's always synchronistic occurrences, synchronistic links every time that there's a major lunar phase in a particular sign, but I mean, I don't think that's gonna make any sense to anyone but me. Because I don't know if anyone uses the Western Zodiac like I use it. As a calendar. Why did you start using it like a calendar? Because it's a calendar. I didn't know that at first. It took me some time to kind of figure that out. Where did the idea come from? I don't know, just from doing it, just from following it. From all my journaling, I kept track of this solar and lunar data, and it just eventually, I noticed that certain cycles and patterns were kind of like buried in. I remember I was learning from Raquel Spring. She's an astrologer from YouTube that I used to follow a lot, and whenever she talked about the moon, she would always talk about cycles within cycles within cycles. And I didn't necessarily know what she meant by that. But it wouldn't be until a little bit later on, like for instance, on a particular new moon or full moon, I would do little experiments here and there because I have everything written down, because I have my life documented as I do over the past 7 years. What I would do is, like, let's say it was the Leo full moon. I would then go get my old journal. And look at the previous year's Leo full moon and see what I was doing on that same day. And I would pick up on little things where something that I'm working on now, I would go back and open up these old journals to those particular days based on the lunar cycle, and I would see how on last year's full moon I was doing I was laying the seeds, I was laying the foundation for what I'm doing right now. Like a great example of bringing Miss Kim into this again is one, if using the Leo full moon again as the example. This one was a little bit different. Well, no, not necessarily, because she came up again. But last year's, 2 years ago, what was it? Two Leo full moons ago, which is in February, January. 2 years ago, she messaged me to tell me that she thought that her cycle was lined up with the moon. The year prior, on that same full moon, I remember she messaged me about that, and I went out for a cigarette, and then you put it in my head, go check your journal from last year's Leo full moon and see what it says. And I had a feeling, I remember getting a feeling, I think that might have been the day where I first suggested to her about synchronizing her cycles with the moon cycles. And when I came back in and I pulled out that journal, I read the entry, and boom, there it was. That was the fucking day. But doing little experiments like that, I started doing a couple years back. So experimenting with the moon cycles like I have been with relation to the Western Zodiac, that's old news. It's old news. It's just I learn more as I go. So for instance, I'm talking about the 11 and or 15 week cycles, right? So we got the Scorpio full moon in a couple days. I think like 2 days. If we count back 11 and or 15 lunar weeks ago, we come to the third quarter Leo moon. If we count back 11 and or 15 lunar weeks ago, we're at the Scorpio new moon. If we count back 11 and or 15 weeks prior to that, we're at the first quarter Scorpio moon, which happens to be my lunar birthday. If we count back 11 and or 15 lunar weeks from there, then we come up to the Scorpio full moon from last year, which is around this time. So I call it 11 and or 15 weeks. I used to refer to it as 11 weeks because that's how I found it. I was doing an experiment on Facebook. I created this this post thread where I would post every week, every new moon, quarter moon, or full moon. But then I would link the previous week to the latest post. But then at the same time, what I would do is, if there was, every time, let's say I'm posting on a Leo full moon, at the bottom after I was done writing, at the bottom of the post, I would include a link for the previous week's lunar entry. It was like a lunar diary. But I would also include every other Leo moon. I would include every other Leo moon of the year. So if we posted something on the Leo full moon, I would include the links for last week plus the link for the previous Leo third quarter moon, followed by the link of the Leo full new moon, because of the fact that I wanted to see in real time. I wanted it posterized for posterity. I wanted it posterized that there are measurable cycles within the moon cycles. But now the interesting thing about the 11 and or 15 week cycles is that they go backwards. In that we got the Scorpio full moon in a couple days. Like I said, 11 and or 15 weeks ago, it was the Scorpio third quarter moon. But normally, in a normal, regular lunar cycle, the third quarter moon comes after the full moon. But when we're tracking lunar cycles, the annual lunar cycles, the 11 and or 15 week cycles, they go backward. It's like a retrograde. I used to think that it was just 11 weeks, but then because of that Facebook experiment that I was doing, but it eventually came to me that there's sometimes, predominantly it's 11 weeks, but sometimes it's 15 weeks. So this month, this solar month of Taurus, there's 2 third quarter moons in Aquarius. One at the very beginning of the month and one at the very end of the month. So that fucks things up. It doesn't fuck things up, it just complicates things. Because each solar month is approximately 30 days, but every lunar cycle is about 28 to 30 days. So there's always enough time. Every time the sun is in each 30 degree sign month for about 30 days, right? That's just enough time for one full lunar cycle. But sometimes the lunar cycles are fast, sometimes they're slow. Which is why it's 28 to 30 days. Predominantly, a solar month is about 30 days. I haven't gone back and counted yet, but it's almost guaranteed that if we go and check a transit chart to see where the sun is stationed right now, which I think is about 15 degrees Taurus, that if we go back 1 year it's going to be within a range of less than 1 degree of where it is right this moment. So the sun's pretty much like clockwork. It takes 365.25125 about days. 365 and a quarter days and some change. But the change varies. Sometimes it's like 125th of a day. A quarter of a day, 365 days, plus 1/4 of a day, plus 125th of a day. But that can range a little bit more, a little bit less, so it's not precise. And the reason it can't be precise is then it's to break up the monotony. The redundancy. It can't be redundant. Why? I don't know. Why can't it be redundant? My lord, why can't it be redundant? Because if it was redundant, then it would be easy. It can't be too easy. And not to mention the fact that we aren't calculating time properly. We think we are. We're doing it to the best of our abilities, but there's a better system. That's why you gave us a 360-degree system. It's not 360 days, it's 360 degrees. Then why not just make it 365 days? Again, can't make it too easy. Got to make it a challenge. Right? Or is there some more diabolical reason? No, it's not diabolical. It's just, do you want everything to be static? You want everything to be the same? It doesn't work that way. That's why there's cycles within cycles within cycles within cycles, and none of the cycles are ever exactly. I mean, they are exact, but they're not exact to the way that we want them to be exact. My lord, do I really believe in all this? Like, I mean, I feel like I have this feeling that no one can knock me off of this little pedestal I got myself on. Except for you, but the way I hear you telling me is you put me on this pedestal so that I can recognize myself on the pedestal, and that no one can ever knock me off the pedestal, because now that I'm on the pedestal, that's just where I live. Well, right, because if someone were to knock me off the pedestal, that would mean that I would have to put that other person above me, and that's just not going to happen. Why? Because to place someone above me would mean that that person is between you and me. It don't work like that. So the best someone can be is on a pedestal next to me. And arrogance, cockiness, that's not how you get there. It has to be real. Oh my God. Now I'm just like really full. I love that dinner, by the way. Thank you. I feel like we're running out of shit to do. Do you feel that? You can feel that I feel it. It's because of Shabbat, isn't it? It's because of the Count of Amar. What do we have left? As soon as sunset hits, we're at day 5. What time is it? It's minutes, yeah. So sunset's in a couple minutes. Then it's the 11th day of Ayar. And the beginning of the 5th day of the 6th week. No, 5th day of the 4th week of the Count of Omer. So we're more than halfway through. Tonight's gonna be, what was that, Netzach of Netzach. So tonight's the Hod of Netzach. The Hod. No, I'm fucking loving it. I am loving this. Why? What's the Count of Omer? The Count of Omer starts on the 3rd day of Passover. So Passover is 8 days long. It begins on the 14th day of the 1st month, which is 2 days after the full moon of the 1st month, which is typically, it's either going to be the Aries full moon or the Scorpio full moon. Because the Jewish calendar has like a pendulum swing to it. It self-corrects itself every 19 years, but every 2 to 3 years there's a 13th month added to the calendar to accommodate for the partial lunar cycles. So over the course of 19 solar years, there's exactly, what's 12 times 19? God, gotta do this in my head. 190, 208, 215. There's 215 full lunar cycles compacted within the sun going around 19 years. Right? Let me do that again, just to make sure. So 10 times 19 is 190, then 18. Wait. 38. 128, 228, and then plus the 7 13th months. All right, so 225 full lunar cycles plus 7 is 228. Well, that's funny you say 228 because that's how many years it takes for the Islamic calendar and the Jewish calendar to resynchronize too. So 228, right? Because 190 plus 38 is 228 plus 7 is 235. So there's 235 full lunar cycles, new moon to new moon cycles, in the exact amount of time that it takes the sun to go around 19 times. Then the sun and the moon, they self-correct. I don't know. The lunar cycles, the 19 years of lunar cycles around the Earth reset themselves, recalibrate themselves. That's the Metonic cycle, which is a thing that was discovered. It's credited to a Greek astrologer named Baton. I don't know how the fuck he figured it out. But what I read was that even today, we don't really know how he figured it out. there's rumor that he learned it from the Babylonians. But it's not impossible the Babylonians got it from the Jews when they conquered Israel. So Slum Planet. But the sun and the moon, that's not the same. That's not the only one. There's also a metonic cycle. For Venus and the sun, which is every 8 years. So and the amount of time it takes for the sun to cycle 8 times, Venus recalibrates itself in relation to the sun, in relation to the earth. So right now, from a geometric perspective, the sun and Venus are aligned perfectly with where they were at 8 years ago, to the day, to the degree. The sun and the moon right now are aligned with where they were 19 years ago. Within a range, for the moon. The moon's going to be within a range of about like 8 degrees, 10 degrees. The sun should be within a range of 1 degree, up to 1 degree. Plus or minus. And the same with the moon. I said 10 degrees, up to plus or minus 10 degrees. But the same thing is true with Mars. So 32 years ago, the sun, the earth, and the moon, and Mars were in exact alignment with where they were today, where they are today. I think Mars, I'll say within a range of up to plus or minus 10 degrees also. Venus is very precise. The moon's a little, like I said, up to plus or minus 10 degrees. Mars is also plus or minus up to 10 degrees. What we're doing, well, that's what we're doing. I've managed to merge the spiritual principles and spiritual philosophies of Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, so that they're all one thing now. Not everyone's gonna see it. I can see it though. So on that front, we're good. So now the trick is to carry all of that and wrap it up in astrotheology, which is the original religion. And astrotheology is the foundation of geometric astronomy, which is the foundation of astrology. My Lord, what I'm sensing, what I visualize the next year to be, 5786, I have a sense that this next, what do we have left? Tevet, Sivan, no, not Tevet. We got Sivan, Tammuz, Av, Elul. So we got 4 more months left of the year. 4.5 months before the end of the year, before Rosh Hashanah. So I got a feeling we're gonna run out the rest of this year. Whatever takes place between now and Rosh Hashanah, it's gonna set the stage, lay the foundation for us to be able to spend all of next year completely cut off from the world and just putting all of the notes together. That's what I'm seeing. Just correct me if I'm wrong. Like, this is what I want it to be. I want to spend all of next year going through the journals, doing the 7 years of reflection, doing the 12 pillars, and having a cohesive a cohesive document for peer review. I mean, you know what? How about this? Something for peer review too. We'll see how honest science is. We'll see if I can get. We'll see. I would love to get an. I would love to be nominated for a Nobel within a year. For. Okay, we still got Aristotle too. Because well, what I mean is, because I want to go through his entire course on physics. It's long, it ain't short. Although, my lord, what I've noticed is that over this past year of working with Aristotle's work, where in the very beginning I was only able to transcribe one sentence at a time, now I can do a full paragraph. I like it the way that it is. I like transcribing one full paragraph at a time. But the way I'm looking at it is, we've been priming and developing my mind in such a way that one day I'll be able just to kind of read through one of Aristotle's books and be able to comprehend it right there. Like on the spot, like boom, just read through the whole fucking book. Because some of those books are only 50 pages long. I would love to be able to read it 50 pages, done, bing bong, and be able to absorb everything that I need to absorb from it. I don't want to be ready to do it just yet. I want to continue doing it the way that I'm doing it. Why? I don't know. Because I like doing it that way. Because when I write things down, it imprints more deeply. Because I have to really slow myself down and process and chew on my food, so to speak. But what do we have left? We got three chapters of prior analytics left. Chapter 2 of prior analytics, or book 2 of prior analytics. Then we have posterior. I feel like posterior analytics is going to really help us have a solid grasp on prior analytics. And then once we get into topics, well, hold on, let me back up there. The best way to understand something is to learn about its opposite. So we already know prior analytics, which is not necessarily easy. It's kind of tough. But I have a sense that the fact that he's getting into inductive syllogism is laying the foundation for what we're going to get into in posterior analytics. And the reason I'm thinking that is, some ways back, I had a theory that once we get into posterior analytics, that it was going to help me better understand prior analytics. But when he introduced the concept of the inductive syllogism, it just made so much shit click with syllogisms in general. When he said that induction is the opposition of syllogism, in a sense. And it made sense. I understood what he was saying. Like, it made sense. And it seems to me that he's like kind of laying the foundation right now for what we're going to get into in posterior analytics. But then once we get through that, which I think is going to take a couple months, because how long ago did we start book 2 of prior analytics? It was like 2 months ago. I mean, I would love it if by the end of the summer we were done with all the logic stuff. Because we only have posterior, topics, and sophistical refutations, which I cannot fucking wait to get into. I read a paragraph of the first chapter, and it sounded like legalese. That's what it sounded like. It may have given me an erection, like a intellectual erection. But we still have. But I think we're about halfway through physics at this point, because we're on book 4, chapter 5 of Aristotelian physics. Nobody uses those anymore. No, I know that. That's why I'm doing it. The reason I don't think anyone uses Aristotelian physics is because I don't think anyone's smart enough to use them. Oh, you are? Yes. Yes, as a matter of fact, I am. Because, like Aristotle, I live by way of a lunar calendar. Well, hold on. Aristotle lived by a solar lunar calendar. I live by a solar lunar calendar and a lunar solar calendar, which are two different things, but they're exactly the same thing. So the Western zodiac is a solar lunar calendar. The Jewish calendar is a lunar solar calendar. But then I also live by a lunar calendar too, with this Islamic calendar. And I also follow the Chinese calendar also. Which, by the way, next week's third quarter moon in Aquarius. Oh, fuck. Oh my God. That marks the end of the first quarter of the Chinese year. Although, it's the second third quarter moon in Aquarius this year, so this month. It's like the quarter moon equivalent of a super moon. People don't pay attention to the quarter moons, I notice. Everyone only gives a shit about the full moons and the new moons, but the way I was taught by God is to use the whole fucking thing. People treat it like a buffet. It's the same thing with planetary time. You know? Most people that use planetary time, they use planetary time to cast spells and to do the magics and the things. We use it as an all-day, everyday thing. So right now it's about sunset. So we're minutes away or minutes into the 13th hour of the day. Yeah. We're about 10 minutes into the 13th hour of the day. So today's Thursday. Saturn moon. It's so the hour of the moon. Let's see. 13th hour of the moon. Yeah. It just started 4 minutes ago. The 13th hour of the day begins as soon as the 12th hour ends, which is at sunset. The 24th hour of the day ends as the first hour begins at sunset. The 6th hour of the day ends when the 7th hour of the day begins, which is high noon. And then the 18th hour of the day ends, or the 19th hour of the day begins when the 18th hour ends at true midnight. This I learned from King Solomon. So on Thursday, and this only goes for Thursdays, the 13th hour is associated with the moon. It corresponds with the moon. The 14th hour goes with Saturn. The 15th hour goes with Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet that's associated with Thursday. So the first hour, 8th hour, 15th hour, and 22nd hour of every single day is attached to the planet that is attached to that particular day of the week. So that the first hour of every week always starts with the day, with the planet that oversees that particular day. So we don't need daylight saving times anymore. I don't need it. I've been waiting since I was a kid. It's been my dream since I was a child to figure out a way to put an end to daylight savings time once and fucking for all. And now I have it. Well, what about everybody else? Hey, fuck everybody else. Everyone else gives me the finger and says, fuck you. You dumb Jew. What that one person say? They call me a goat fucking Jew? I remember that. Why would you want to follow the ideas of a goat fucking Jew? Right? Would you have that fabulous daylight savings time? Good for you. Enjoy it. Alright, so I don't know, man. I don't know if I feel like walking all this way. What do we got on this? It's only been an hour. What am I thinking? I don't know. I'm thinking about like, what if we really run out of things to say? Oh my God, I really don't feel like walking. I don't want to do tonight's count. I never finished explaining the Count of Omer. The Count of Omer begins on the third day of Passover. And it goes for 49 plus 1 days. 7 weeks plus 1 day. which is 50 days, which is the amount of time it took after crossing the Sea of Reeds, the Red Sea, to getting to Sinai and receiving the Torah, specifically the Ten Commandments. What I'd like to do, there's a Chabad house that's maybe like 20 minutes away. It's a 20-minute drive. It's probably like a 3.5-hour walk. But Shabbat, the tradition is to stay up all night studying Torah. I want to do that. I want to go to the Chabad because they have an event that night. Is why I wish I still had a car. Or at least a license. Would your license get taken away for not paying your alimony? No. No, my license got taken away because I never returned my plates from my last car. But I didn't know that. Nobody told me until I went to go get my license renewed. What the hell? So when I found out that when I tried to get my license renewed 2 years ago, no, dude, that was 3 years ago, 2.5. Fuck. Fuck, why fuck? Because I have a sense that they're gonna make me redo the whole thing. As in, like, I'm gonna have to get my fucking permit again. Oh my god. Hashem. I'm walking home, by the way. I'm not letting this run out for 2 hours. Like, my stomach is so fucking bloated right now. My stomach's full of food and wine. We have to do tonight's Omer count. We still gotta do... Oh, I missed again the prayer tonight. Whatever. I still have to do tonight's count. I gotta get to the next portion of Tanya. And it's taking me 3 days to get to fucking chapter 25 of posterior or prior analytics. Because I have to get to chapter 5 of book 4 of physics. Well, I want to get through physics so that I can get onto On the Heavens, because I want to know why. Because I want to be the one human being in the world who understands Aristotle's book on astronomy. Because I want to go through. Because I need to go through Ptolemy's Tetrabiblios. Because, like I said, we merged Islam, Torah, and the Gospels So now we just have to merge it with astrotheology and astronomy, whatever the hell you want to call it. Geometric astronomy. Oh my god, I feel like really dizzy. And my body is begging me to lie down. But I know if I lie down, I'm not getting back up. Why don't I lie down? Because I want to lie down in my bed. Oh god, I also want to turn this off. You know when I didn't mean to eat too much. Kind of don't even want to finish this cigarette. And I just need a different song too. Like I feel diva mode kicking in. Alright, I can get down with that. Iced tea, Ice Cube. Gotta say it was a good day. Alright, Hashem, I'm turning this off because I just don't feel it. I'm not feeling